Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I like to fight back. It's my nature. It also works for me. I'm about ready to take you through the Kentucky Supreme Court decision. In addition to that, share some facts with you that are going to make your head spin. First and foremost, in the decision on page 3, I'm putting this up on the screen, his aggressive litigation strategy. If you hired a lawyer, would you want aggressive litigation strategy or do you want a wimp? Then they say that the record discloses interviews with judges negative about me. In 2014, I withdrew. That's not true. That's a complete lie. Not only that, you had people like Judge Schran, Judge Frolick, Judge Sheehan, who said they don't have a problem with me. They don't have a problem with me at all. And some of these other judges got busted lying, which I called them on. Then they say this. This 2.5 years wait, they said. No rule, however, permits reinstatement due to an inordinate delay in the committee's hearing schedule. So in other words, they dragged this latest process out for 2.5 years. That's okay. When their rules say it's supposed to be right away. And then when I got reinstated back in 2012, it took 52 days. 2.5 years. On page 6, this one really burns me. Dr. Eben, the psychologist, by the way, I told everybody about this. They wanted me to have a psychological test to see if I was capable of following their rules. It was so silly. Guess what? They picked the 3 psychologists. They're their people, not mine. I had to pick a psychologist that they picked. And this Dr. Eben, he tried his best to turn, because all my tests were fine. He actually says this. Dr. Eben's testing found, by the way, no psychological defects at all. But he threw in there histrionic traits. Well, boy, I'm a flamboyant histrionic, wow. But this is what really pissed me off. Symptoms of narcissism. He threw that in there. But he goes, no, you're not narcissistic. But they put that in the footnote to try to embarrass me. I want to tell you something, folks. I go to a counselor. I went to some marriage counseling, and then I kept going to this guy. By the way, I highly recommend counseling. It's fun, and it helps. It's helpful. You know what my counselor said? He goes, you're the furthest thing from a narcissistic in the world. All you do is fight and care about other people. Everything that I do, my wife, my family, my staff, the Durrani clients, all our clients, my friends, my family. The definition of a narcissist is he only cares about himself. And what I told this guy was, I use my platform to speak out to help these people. According to them, every single person in this country who has a show, a television show, or a platform is a narcissist. They put that in a footnote, trying to embarrass me. Then they passed a Supreme Court rule 3.130 about working at Deters law as a violation if you're associated during the member suspension. They adopted the same law Ohio did after the fact. It doesn't apply to me. Not only that, guess what, folks? I work for an Ohio law firm that was created 2 years ago on Ohio cases. I don't work in a Kentucky law firm. I don't work in the law firm that I was suspended in. One of the things that they all hate is I outsmart them at every turn. Next, they complain that I told people they can call me 24/7. Here I am trying to get people taken care of 24/7, that I would refer them to a lawyer. Just think about that, folks. If you're somebody out there that needs a lawyer, they attack me for being so accommodating to people. Then, get this. The record reveals received inappropriate compensation. That's not true at all. They took Jane Herrick, violated federal law by putting in a public document what I made 2013 through 2017. And there wasn't one inappropriate thing done about this, including all properly filed tax returns. She violated the law. Guess what? Bar counsel has immunity, which means bar counsel can violate all the law and they've got immunity by order of the Supreme Court. Now, They also are mad that I didn't give them. Page 12, they get mad that I didn't give them my 2019 and 2020 tax returns. Too bad. I ain't going to give them crap. They're not entitled to them. And then I dogged them because I know they hate. See, they tried to destroy me. And when I beat them and they didn't destroy me, it drives them crazy. So I poked them. I said, I got money. I went through 7 years of everything. They said he bragged about the 94 judgment in Durrani. Can you imagine how that makes their head explode, that we got 94 million in judgments for Durrani victims? The jealousy. See? It makes their head explode. Another thing that drives them nuts, I fund the litigation. I'm allowed to finance anything I want. See, this has been a conspiracy between the Durrani defense lawyers, the Kentucky bar, Ohio bar, all of these people to try to hurt the Durrani cases by destroying me. And they failed. Then they talk about the tax lien. By the way, I know what it's like during the last 7 and 8 years. I know what it's like to have a $1.38 credit card rejected for a parking meter. I risked my whole fortune, everything I had, borrowed money from anybody and everybody to fight this battle for the Durrani victims. And we succeeded in 4 hospital settlements, but we got a lot more to get. This is great. His conduct and attitude in correspondence with attorneys and judges in Facebook videos and pleadings and in press conferences do not evidence professionalism, respect for the law, the bar, or courts in any manner. You're damn right, because I have no respect. Zero. And I've proven why the Ohio Supreme Court deserves no respect. Why Judge Schweikert deserves no respect. Why the Ohio court system deserves no respect. Why the Kentucky Supreme Court deserves no respect. Why the KBA Board of Governors deserve no respect. Why lawyers are scumbags. Let me tell you about lawyers. Lawyers will tell you, ooh, you're facing a real serious crime, knowing they're going to plead you out and charge you more money. They'll take your divorce case and bill the living freaking hell out of it. All the little tricks that lawyers do. Scum. They said I'd be a Boy Scout. They brought up my Matt Hammer. Matt Hammer lied under oath that I forged his name to an affidavit disqualifying Chief Justice O'Connor. Guess what? Not true. Not true. And I proved it wasn't true. But he had immunity because he told the bar. And by the way, that isn't a final decision in federal court, which I will appeal. Think about that. Do you think that a lawyer should knowingly be able to lie about another lawyer in a bar proceeding and have immunity? That means anybody can lie about anybody and pay no consequences as long as there's a pending bar proceeding. That's how absurd it is. They used my judge going to jail. In defiance of that order, they don't know anything about the facts. I was held in direct contempt, which means you did it in front of a judge, when Judge Sunderman said I could do it, and Judge Schweikert was in Florida. And the first district lets me out. Then, when I have my falling out with Joe Deters, what happens? Oh, they uphold the conviction. It's a joke. But another thing in the profession, in the law, you can't call somebody a liar when they're a liar. You have to say misrepresentation. Well, I call them liars. Beth Feimster, Character and Fitness, lied over and over again. By the way, she's gotten fired. Deters resumed his attack on KBA and the committee. Sabrina, I don't want to put this up. It'll be faster for you to put the video up. I'm reading from it. Deters' action indicate a lack of respect for the profession, the courts, lawyers, and other participants. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, there isn't one thing in this decision. Stole money, committed a fraud, committed a crime, moral turpitude, dastardly deed. None of it is in there. Why do they want me out? Because I don't respect the courts and the lawyers. So you can't be a lawyer unless you respect them, even if they don't deserve respect. Deters' lack of self-awareness is utterly amazing. No, it's not. I'm completely aware, you dumbasses, of what I'm saying and doing. See, they don't get it. They don't get it, and they're never going to get it. He claims it is anarchy. Then they say, I'm supposed to stop doing all this other stuff. They have no power and authority over me. I am no longer a licensed Kentucky lawyer. By the way, I got to tell you some more funny things. Do you know Kentucky had a rule? I tried to retire in 2014. Do you know they have a rule that they don't let you retire if you have any pending discipline against you? Do you believe that? So you can't, what profession in the world can't you just quit? It's unconstitutional as hell. And I will challenge it if I have to. I have told the KBA, I've given them both middle fingers and said, I'm done. You have no authority over me. They can't control how I make a living. They can't control that. By the way, I want to go back, just so you understand this. I have been out 8 years on several 60-day suspensions. And let me go back to what, I'm going to give you an example of what I got suspended for. Judge Stephen Bates from Grant County issued an order of summary judgment against my client. And on the same day, the lawyers, Ruth Baxter, filed a Rule 11 motion against me on the same day. And all I said on the radio was, in the history of jurisprudence in America, that's never happened. She knew what the decision was going to be. And I got suspended for that. Those are the type of things that I got suspended. All little knick-knack, paddywhack bullshit. But get this. So then they punish you for fighting. So then they had a couple other more bullshit things. So I said, okay, I'll stop fighting. I'll accept your 60-day suspension. Who gives a damn? So on basically a 180-day suspension on bullshit, I was out 8 years. Now here is the rule. The unconstitutional rule. Imagine this. Imagine if you got sentenced to 60 days by a judge. 60 days by a judge. And 10 days before you were ready to get out of jail, the prosecutor said, nope, I object to you getting out of jail. You have to prove that you're going to be a good citizen to get out of jail. So you stayed locked up past 60 days trying to prove that you're going to be a good citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, the Kentucky Bar, the Kentucky Supreme Court has that rule, and that rule was used against me not once, but twice. In other words, they punish you past due process. Now, I challenged that rule in federal court. Van Meter down in Frankfurt, no. So then I get to the Sixth Circuit. You can't make this up. Guess who writes the opinion for the Sixth Circuit? A 100-year-old, 90-some-odd-year-old retired judge from Michigan who was the president of the Michigan Bar Association. In what world would an average American citizen say that is the correct rule, that is fair? It's totally unfair. I've only been suspended 180 days. I've never been disbarred. I have been out 8 years on a 180-day suspension because of those stupid rules. So when I realized it didn't matter what I did, I've been unleashing hell. Because I know it doesn't matter what I say and do. And by the way, as I'm sitting here right now, this is hilarious. As I'm sitting here right now, I could actually reapply to be reinstated, but I'm not. Some more things. None of these people could ever do what I've done. And there's some impartial lawyers who are fully familiar with what I've gone through and what I've done, and they're like blown away. They said, man, nobody could have done what you've done under those circumstances. And by the way, it's all going to be in the documentary, and the world is going to know this story, and it's going to blow away the world when you got the Netflix binge it. These are elected officials. These judges, Maureen O'Connor, are elected officials. I'm allowed to say what the hell I want about them. If it's factually true, they can sue me if it's defamation. It's not. Let me tell you another thing that cracks me up. Do you know that through this whole battle and all of this process, I don't have a drug problem, an alcohol problem, an anger problem. I got to ask you a question. Have you ever heard or seen me like getting in fights in bars, being drunk out in public, picking on somebody that shouldn't be picked on? I fight Goliaths. I don't pick on little people. I'm a good person. I sleep well at night. You know, the clients, my wife, my kids, my family, my friends, and my family who know me, they know. My enemies, they don't know, except they're just jealous. Or maybe I have fought them. But I don't have any of those problems. Kentucky has this problem with lawyers helping lawyers bullshit. If you got a drug, alcohol, porn, all those kind of gambling, you get treated better. I was told that's what I should claim. I'm not claiming that. It's a bunch of bullshit. The Kentucky Supreme Court is corrupt as hell. I'm going to go ahead and cover some more things. I was going to do 2 videos. I'm not. I will sue and bring me information. You hear stuff, you bring it to me. And by the way, I'm your champion, folks. If you hate these people and this system like I do, I'm your guy. There's no other lawyer out there saying and doing what I'm doing. And remember, I got my own studio. Let me see here. I can't sign a pleading. I can't appear in court for another. I can't take a fee of work. I'm allowed to draft. I'm allowed to recommend. I don't lose my knowledge. Check out what paralegals all across the country. I'm allowed to be a victim's advocate. I'm allowed to lend money. I can be a spokesperson. There's these consultants like Mark Maudlin that do all this kind of stuff. How come Mark Maudlin has never been charged with the unauthorized practice of law? I can refer people to Deters Law. I can promote Deters Law. I've never misrepresented my status. The whole world knows my status. Now, here's another thing that's funny about this. I can promote, I can say, I can do all those things. That's what drives them freaking crazy. And guess what? I've never been charged with the unauthorized practice of law by a prosecutor. And if one of them wants to charge, I welcome the stage of the trial. This is hilarious. We got, this is September 19, 2014, was sent out by my dad at the time to all of our clients, where it tells all of the clients what I'm allowed to do. Consult with firm lawyers, I do every day. Draft documents, I do every day. Perform legal research, I do every day. Contact with clients, I can't give legal advice. I can't sign pleadings. This was approved, all you slanders out there, this was approved by Ohio Disciplinary Council. And I've abided by it. There's a pending unauthorized practice decision before the Ohio Supreme Court that I'm battling, which, regardless of what they do, I'm innocent of. I'll pay my $10,000 fine and move on. But this was all sent out, what I can do. And then you ought to Google what paralegals' duties are. I do everything that I'm allowed to do, and we don't hide from it. You know what I admitted to do? During one of the Durrani trials, I was texting Matt Hammer questions. Yeah, I'm allowed to text him a question. I can do any of those things. It drives them crazy. Not only that, folks, there is my constitutional right to make a living. I know law. I don't lose my head on law. I'm allowed to do everything that I do. And it drives all of my enemies crazy that I'm the most successful person in the Northern Kentucky legal profession and I don't have a license. It drives them crazy. By the way, a federal judge who was serving as a Durrani judge put in a court order that I had an economic interest in these cases. Remember, all the Durrani cases came to me, were signed up to me when I was still licensed. And you know what I did? I gave up my license in Ohio. I didn't get kicked out. I had to retire from Ohio because their rule that I couldn't work on the cases because I was in that firm. And the only reason why I got suspended in Ohio was Kentucky's reciprocity. I gave up Kentucky made me give up my Ohio license to work on the Durrani cases in all those capacities. That's what I did. I gave it up because I was too important to the cause. Guess what? I can be paid whatever amount of money I'm worth. I could be paid $500,000, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, whatever I'm worth, I'm allowed to be paid. It's unbelievable. All of you don't know jack or what the facts are. I'm trying to educate the public. And by the way, I'm going to educate the world. By the way, the first episode of the documentary is almost done. It focuses on who Durrani is. It's incredible. Episode 2 is going to be about the victims. It's going to be incredible. The battle, the legal battle, all of it is going to be incredible. By the way, finally, I'm going to close with this. I was fighting for Durrani victims to have their trials. By the way, it worked a little bit. At least we're going to have 2 at a time coming soon. And I didn't violate the gag order. They found me guilty, but I didn't violate it. It was all bullshit. But I was willing to go to jail. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I looked Judge Schweiker in the eye and said, you're evil. What you do to these people. Oh, by the way, Ohio Disciplinary Council, they're on our ass for advancing lending money to some of these people when they're getting evicted, foreclosed on, and everything else. Really? So we're not supposed to help these people? Do you think the Durrani defense lawyers and the children's hospital CEOs are worried about money? But anyway, I am so proud that I went to jail fighting this battle. How many of these Nimrods, these Supreme Court judges and all these lawyers that attack me willing to go to jail, who have ever gone to jail? And what cracks me up historically, oh, Martin Luther King Jr. went to jail. Oh, John Lewis went to jail. Oh, but Eric Deters going to jail. How foul of him. How foul of him. I am so proud of what I do. These assholes, jackwagons, couldn't do anything that I do. They couldn't carry my briefcase in the courtroom. And that's the other thing that's another tragedy of all this is, folks, I tried 100, 200 trials. I was damn good. And they took me out of that courtroom. Thank God I got a team of lawyers led by Alan Statman to try those cases. But with all due respect to Al, he ain't me. So they took me out of that courtroom. That's one thing that they won. You know, they took my abilities out of that courtroom. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.